Hey guys, Mark Lyon here, Lion Horses. Today I've got a little, I guess a little tip. I guess it's more of a self-improvement, like a coaching tip or something. I've had this happen to me I've been on both ends of the spectrum. I've been the person that was getting coached, and I've been the person that was giving coaching out. And so I've seen this happen before, and I can understand why people do it or why they react this way, because I've been guilty of the same. So I just kind of wanted to bring it to light, and hopefully it helps you. So anyway, it's I'll tell the story about me first. And so I was getting help with some horsemanship training stuff, and I kept having this little problem. So I got some help, and it got a little bit better, and then I went home, and I'm working on this thing, and working on this thing, and working on this thing, and there was a couple little things that kept happening, and I was like, man, maybe I'm just not doing it right or whatever. And I didn't want to call my coach, because I didn't want him to think that I wasn't very good. I didn't want him to think, oh, I thought that Mark was way better than he was, and really he's, I thought he was a 6, and really he's a 4 on a scale of 1 to 10. And so anyway, I didn't really ask him about it, because I didn't want him to think less of me. And so anyway, it didn't get fixed. And so a little later, when it was I was starting to show some stuff, and it wasn't going well, I mentioned it to him, and he said, yeah, well, when you want to, if you want some help, let me know. And so I said, well, yeah. And he said, well, the reason is because your personality is like this, and horse's personality is like that, and this is what you're having problems with. And he explained it to me, and I was like, yep, that's what I'm having problems with. And he said, oh yeah, well, and so he told me how to fix it and helped me with it. And I said, how did you know? And he said, well, everybody has that problem. Like, you're on your way to get better. It's just, that's what happens. And I was like, oh, okay. And so anyway, I realized that I wasn't pulling the wool over his eyes. Like he knew where I was at, and I could think that I could act better than I was, and he knew where I was at. So anyway, a few years go by, and a few weeks ago, a person I know, they're having problems with their horse, and I know about it from a friend of mine that told me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can see how that would work. I'm surprised it didn't happen already. And so they said, well, why don't you, told this person, hey, why don't you call Mark and ask him? And he said, oh man, I don't really know. I don't really, I guess I will maybe a little later. And they're kind of putting it off. They don't, I think it's the same thing. They don't really want to tell me they're having problems, because they're worried that I'm going to think less of them. And so anyway, I already really know where they are. It's not like, you're kind of waiting for them to call you, because the problem's coming. I mean, you can tell. It's like, I think a lot of times we want to try to impress people, so we tell them, hey, we try to put on airs like, on a scale of 1 to 10, we think we're a 6 or a 7, and really we're a 4 or a 3 or a 5 or whatever it is where we're at. And if your instructor's pretty good, they know. Like, you can act like you're a 6 or a 7 or an 8 all day long, and they know exactly where you are. They know exactly what's coming, what the horse is probably going to do next, how you're probably going to react to it, why you're having the problems you're having. So they already know. It's not like you're going to go, hey, I'm hiding it from them. So I guess my point is, when you guys are having problems, and this is what I try to do, hey, when you're having a problem, call somebody and find out who your mentor is, and get a hold of them and say, hey, this is the problem I'm having. Because most of the time, they already know. They're waiting for you to acknowledge the problem and come seek help. That's what they're waiting for. They already know you're going to have that problem. They can tell. They've been there before. if you're if you're on a scale of 1 to 10, if you're a 5 and your instructor's an 8 or a 9, he knows you're a 5. You can act like a 6, you can act like a 7 all you want. They know where you're at. You're not fooling them. So don't think that they're going to think less of you because you hid the fact that you're having a problem. Go talk to them, say, hey, this is the problem I'm having. What do I do? It'll actually probably make them think more of you because you're asking for help. So anyway, that's what I would say. When you get a good mentor, it's a little bit like a dad. They already know that you've messed up, or you don't know, and so all they're waiting for is you to come say, hey, I think it needs a little help here. This is not working the way I wanted it to. So anyway, that's my tip for today. Remember, we're all trying to be the person our horse deserves, and for that to happen, we all need to get better. So the best way to get better is to find somebody that's better at whatever it is you're trying to improve, and get with them, ask them questions, get some coaching, and we can all kind of lift each other up, and we can learn from those that have done it before. So anyway, hope this tip helps. Catch you later.